This
table, right?
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So now we have written a table inside that rows with headings. A table, T head, T body, T foot. In the T head, we have given TR as table row and TH is a table heading. Under that row, we have divided it into 7 columns, which including the action of edit and delete. That's why we have merged that, or as we can say we have grouped all the sub columns into a single column by writing call span 7. Now let us come to the point of T body. So open arrow, TR, TD, serial number 1, then for example in name John, then okay, we want to show image. For example, let us show IMG SRC image something, and let us adjust that width and height. So width 50 pixels and height 50 pixels. Additionally, write an alt the name something like this. Okay, for timing, make it empty and title. These are all the attributes you just have to write, but I mean, it is not mandatory for each and every time, but it is recommended. Why means you can't say whether image is properly loading or not. Sometimes may not load. In that case, it's better to write an alt. So we already written, then it will show that matter. And title is just optimizing your image, optimizing your content. Meaning of title attribute is by writing the title attribute when you search in the Google. For example, let us search. Now, for example, okay, HTML only. These are the results related to text results or default way. But if we want to see the images, how these images are coming, because of they have given a title in their websites for these images. That's the reason it is optimizing in the, that is optimizing means it is giving preference to show in the search results. That is the usage of writing that title attribute. Okay, then the next is price. You can say then the next is quantity, and additionally now we want to make it edit link and delete link. So let us a href edit. If we have an idea to which page or to which action it has to perform when user clicks on edit, then we can write a link. But as of now, we don't have an idea, or it's not mandatory to set something, so we can just make it hash. Then save it at last, delete. Then now a row with the details we have done. Let us see. Right under the serial number, under the name, that is under the image, price, quantity, edit, delete. Accordingly, correctly, there is first th, first td, second th, second td. Correspondingly, it will be displayed. Okay, so like this, let us write. Let it be for typing same data. Just create 2 to 3 rows like this. Seeing that you have done, sorry, you have displayed a group of different rows of users, sorry, products. Oh, sorry, product name. Nah? I thought it username. No problem. You can just make it something. Samsung, Dell, Asus, Acer. Okay. So now, then at last, T foot, just a simple statement we want to display. Make it maybe either TD or TH, and it should merge all the 7 columns as a single column. Then seeing that it's all about product details, then user can see like this. Heading part, description part, that is called, we can say, body part, and footer part. And as we have done a call span, merging the number of columns into a single column. In the same way, we even can also write a row span. How? Merging the number of rows. Okay, let us write. Create a new row. Including this row, how many? I mean, in the T head, 1, 2, 3. 3 rows now. 1, 2, and 3. Including these 3, you are additionally adding a new row. So, okay, TH. First point, it will be something. Now, write row span. 3 plus 1, this one, 4. Including, because it is also a row, it is also a column. So, 1 by 1. And now, observe here in the left hand side, merging all the 3 rows, including this, as a one single row. single row and single column. Then in same way, how can you match? How many we have? One, two, three, four. So far we have we can say four rows. Then if you want to match, they're saying that a new row with a row span, which is row span, then four, no, including five, because this is also a row now. Additionally, four. That's why. Then and here you can just only one row, so you can make it eight column. Why means because increasing one more column now. Observe one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. That's why we made it eight column. So here you can make it something a text which is information, that is side information of rows, data or products, something and heading something. Where you can see this kind of row spans or column spans means mostly timetables of schools and like this you can see. So now observe HTML table. Now search in the images. This is what I mean. Don't bother about the coloring. At this moment, we don't have any coloring because of we are not working with any styling. So observe how many rows and how many columns having here. Two columns with four rows. That is the mean. Whereas second one, three columns with four rows right now. Whereas this one, yes. You can see first of all how many columns means one. You need to count this one. Two, three, four. There is to the maximum inner sub columns also considered as a column. So one, two, three, four. Four columns and one, two, three, four. Four rows, four by four actually, but just first is row span, last is row span two and call span two. How they have written the code, you can just open that one. There are n number of examples out there. This is what they have given an output. See the code and try to change here and there, and you can see that what you can say output. So only thing you have to remember when you want to group two rows, writing row span, not only two, anything. When you want to group into a single row, go with the row span. When you want to group into a single column, go with the call span. That is the difference. Okay. Then you can just see one by one example. Then this is how you can create a table in HTML. Okay. Now, after all these things, the next point is designing a form where user can interact. So far, whatever we have given, user is just seeing in different ways. Maybe a paragraphs, maybe a listings, maybe a table format. But there is no concept of user interaction. User interaction means user have to type something, user have to what can say click something like this. So how you can create the interaction by designing a form. A, what is a form? A form is a group of input fields where user can input the data and that can be processed and finally give an output. Examples of forms, we can say, what you can say, login form, sign up form, uh, feedback form, survey form, n number of examples. Okay, so now let us, we want, okay, first point, let me tell you. To work with the forms, we need to open with form element. Then form is totally categorized into three different input elements. So input, select, then text area. In the input, there are different fields, different types of fields. What are those? Text, email, password, URL, radio, checkbox, then of course even date, color, submit, reset, like this. Okay, and select is for drop down. Text area is for taking multiple number of lines. Okay, and now we want to design a form in a chronological order. That course, I mean, in a tabular, I want to create label and fields. Like you can see a sample how we want to go, sorry, how we want to design. Click on images. You can see like this. Labels, first name, last name, whatever the names that we are seeing. Labels and input elements. Maybe you can also create like this labels. That is making something formatting. Okay. So now, so first open with the form element. For the total form, for what purpose you are writing, that you need to specify with a name attribute. Maybe anything to sign up or register, whatever you did. In this, write a table. You can also go with directly TR, I mean T head, T body, T foot are just an optional only. It's not mandatory or recommended also. I mean, it's not recommended also. Just as they have given, we have discussed. So only few, I mean, only in some places you can see T head, T body, and T foot. Not in all the places. Okay, then write a TH, fill up, sign up form. Something we are writing, and we want to be, sorry, we want to make it, this is a call span 3 because we want to create under these three columns label, colon, and input element. Okay, so for timing, let me write call span 3. And to make it a line, border line, write border and that equals to 1 pixel. Now see the output. So right now fill up just something statement and sign up form. Now under this we are going to write one by one. A row with TD, name it as full name, a label, first column, second column just as a colon division, and third column. First see that output. Label full name. And we are asking that user, sorry, we are asking the user to enter full name. So where is that entry? An input element. An input element is an inline element. Here, while writing like this, input like this, right? User can click into the input element and can write anything. But to access, just to see as an input element, you can just write input element. But to take that value and do some process, we need to do additional things. You need to specify the type of that input element. It is a text type. When it is a type text, meaning that you can write either combination of alphabets, special symbols, and digits also. Then, okay, user is typing where that has to be considered as a value. You are writing, see, at a Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or any other, while you are logging or while you are taking an account, you are typing something, your name, your email, that is considered as a value. To save that value, you will require a form variable that can be written with the name equals to what is that name? Full name. Meaning of the statement is you are saying that it is a characters where user can enter, that is accepting in that value place. Here when user clicks on submit button at last, these characters should pass to the functionality to make it maybe a validation or data saving or any other. So how it is going to save? Because of it has to save under one name. Sorry, how it is saving means based on the a form variable which you have given. To access this is a form variable, you need to write an attribute. You are giving an input element name, the name of this input element. The name of this input element is holding that particular value. That is the meaning. Okay, clear? If you understand this point, the rest of them are also same following. Clear up to this point to all of you?
Yes.
Right. So now we got a clarity. Let us just write the rest of the input elements. Email address, mobile number, password, URL. Okay, for timing, let it be like change email address. The labels first, let us change mobile number, mm, another okay, password, then URL. Write that correspondingly the name equals to, when you are writing attribute name equals to that, what you can say, the field name, don't give uppercases first point, don't give spaces, and don't give any other special symbols. Make it something simple with the lowercase. Then mobile number, password, URL, and see that output as we have written in the format of a tabular table. Each and every row is having proper alignment, and each and every row is having columns with alignment. Then now these things are we can say an open type, a simple, we can say free form type also. Why we are saying a free form type? Because if I am the user, I will enter my email address, my mobile number, my password, my URL. If you are the user, you will be entering your own details. If some other details, there is no restriction. Only how to enter a particular details. That is right now. That's why these fields are called free form type input elements. Then actually we have different types that I will let you know one by one. That is later. And so far, whatever we have done is just with different labels and different input elements. Okay, now we have an option that user have to select only one. That means we are saying that user, among the given number of options, user have to select only one. Then what will be the concept here? Radio. Why radio? General example, if gender, if there is a gender, either we will be selecting male or female, but not both right now, or else none of them will be selected. I mean, user is not selecting anything. So we need to give a values from our end, and user have to choose accordingly. So okay, how to write a row one more. Then you can say gender. Now input type radio. For what purpose we are writing here? Gender purpose. Take gender. Okay. Then first the output. By writing type radio, it is displaying a circle effect. But for what purpose? User is unable to understand. For what purpose we have given this circle, right? So to get it an output, to get it a clarity, outside that input element, write a label. Okay. User got a clarity. For a male selection, they have given a circle. But there is another point. So one more input element. Input type equals to radio, name equals to gender, value equals to. This time, let us write female. Okay, so now user can see two options, and user is thinking that if I am the user, I am selecting male. Yes, the selection is done. But do you say, as I have selected male, the male value will be saved in the given form variable? It is empty now. When we are saying that whatever you are typing, that will be saved in the correspondingly that form variables. The same way here, there is no concept of typing. There is a concept of selection. So based on the selection, that value should automatically save in the given selector, sorry, in the given um, form variable, as two fields are empty. So when user is selecting male, that is saving space. When user is selecting female, that is also a space. So what we have to do, we have to write a value. There is no concept of asking the user to write here. Just the user can select. Based on that selection, that value we are saving. Now, when user clicks on it, immediately, when user clicks and clicks on submit button, then immediately the value what we have given here will be saved in the given form variable. That is called, we can say, selecting an option from the given number of options. First point. Second point is, do you say how the logic is working? If I am selecting female, that is selecting. If I am selecting male, that is selecting. Only one it is selecting. Do you say how it is working? Now, do you say how it is working? Is it working with the radio, the logic? No. The radio is just giving a circle effect. If you observe, for n number of options, same name we have given. For example, if you have given gender 1 and gender 2, then there is two different things. Then user is selecting, user is selecting. That is wrong now. In this case, there is no logic at all. In this, in that case, you no need to go with the concept of radio, right? So the concept of radio is selecting only one option from the given number of options. But if user is selecting multiple options, even though it's a radio, it is blunder. That is wrong. So you have to make something a same name for a particular category for all the options. That is the logic that you have to maintain. Okay, then this is about the concept of radio. You even can also work with feedback 1 to 5. Are you going to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 2, 3, or 4, 2, something like this? No, only one you are going to choose because of they have given a different options, but all the options are connected to the one form variable name itself. That's why that is called, we can say, concept of radio. And now we have an option, sorry, and now we require that user have to select multiple values. User have to select multiple values, then how it can be. So, right, A general example, languages. I know Italian, French, Dutch, English, like this. I want to select all these options. In that case, we can go with the concept of a checkbox. So, and let us write here. Then input element, input type, checkbox, name it. Okay, later we can name it, and value. Before that value, let us write English, that first option. Then and to save that value, let us write languages. So make it here like this, n number of things you can write. Let us write French, Italian, then Dutch, and other. So as we have discussed, okay, first of all, let us see this output. Right, we are able to see different values with checkboxes which is called square presentation, and user is selecting, for example, maybe one value, maybe any two values, maybe any three or four, or all the values, or none of the values. I mean, none of the values means options entry. None of the options, or any of the two options, or any of the three options, like this. Okay, what do you say by selecting like this? Do you say whether it is saving English and Italian, or not at all, or only English, or only Italian? Which one do you say? Do you say English and Italian both are saving, or only English, or only Italian, like this, or none of them? First of all, as you have selected, for all the options, there is an English. According, I mean, as of now, what we have done. So just change here. French, Italian, Dutch, other. Okay. So now one more time, let us. User is selecting these two options for timing. Let us assume. So now what do you see? These two values will be saved in the given form variable or not. It won't save two values. Why? First selection of French, okay, accepted. After crossing that French, Dutch, as you have given for all the options, same name. Of course, you need to give same name only. But according to the logic in previous, a value that will save only one value in the given form variable. Here also, French, that is saving first point. But when you selected Dutch, that is saving. That means the French is overwritten with the Dutch. So how can you save multiple values? To save multiple values, you just have to write a square bracket which is called grouping or holding a multiple values at one form variable like this. By writing like this, now we got a clarity. Yes, user, whatever user is selecting, that is saving in the given form variable with multiple selections. That is the meaning. Okay, then now either radio or checkbox. To the maximum, how many values we can write? That is maximum 5. Of course, you may say even 10 or 20 also you can write now. Yes, you can write. But what will happen? The design will not look nice. Meaning, you can say if you have like these options, a number of options, then the design will not look nice. So to make it simplified, to make it what you can say easy to understand, it's better to choose another way of presentation when there are more than a number of options. That is when there are more than basically 5. Now, what is that concept we are going to discuss? Drop down. So, okay, let us write TR, TD, and we want to make it something country. There are hundreds of countries. I mean, more than 100 countries right now. So, but I mean, we are not going to let all these 100 countries, just few things. Let us write. But the concept, what we are doing here is country. Then, and then select is an element. Select name, country. In this, we can write option. In this option value attribute, you have to observe understanding the concept is different. After understanding the concept, the implementation of that concept is different. Meaning what I say is you got a clarity of gender, you got a clarity of language, sorry, checkbox, you got now you are getting the concept of can drop down. Okay. But at the time now you are seeing okay, you understood successfully. But when your client is asking to design in such a format, you have to remember all these elements, all these attributes, how to write the syntax. That's why please make sure to practice the things continuously, whatever we are discussing in a daily basis. And if you have any queries, you can just come to me. Of course, it's just a general statement what I'm saying because I just want to give an option, sorry, information now. Then now write this n number of options you can write. And the default first one can have something, choose country. Then USA. I'm just writing the option. If observe here between opening and closing elements of an option, we are writing UAE, UK, Japan, other. So like this you can write. Now see the output, right? Defaultly, the first option is showing choose country and the listed out the rest of the options. If user is selecting, do you say that you do you say that UK is saved in the given form variable? No, because empty na value is important. It is just for our understanding purpose. It is just for user understanding purpose. Based on that, identifying what is the name, that value should save in the given form variable. So that's why you need to write a value. USA, UAE, then like this. Now, when user selected a particular thing, that is now going to save the corresponding value in the given form variable of country. Okay, so we have done three different things, and let us now, okay, one more thing is having, that is what, let us write here, file upload. Now let us write, we want to give an option to the user to upload a file. So let me copy, I mean any statement. The type of is file, and the name, you can write anything. And one more point, let me tell you. Okay, you have given file upload something with the type file, and user can see, yes. User can click on it. It will open a pop-up or dialog box, something where you can select something. That is, and regarding to the drop down, defaultly when you open a form page, it is showing choose country. Na? Instead of getting or instead of showing that value as a choose country as a default, if you want to make it something another value, and what you can say the country something that should be default, any country. That means as soon as you open a form, as soon as you see the drop down, the given selected attribute is going to be selected as a default opening value. That is now UAE. That is one point. Second point is, now if you observe one more example, sorry, one more point, user can select one value, meaning user can select one value means like a radio, but user can also select multiple options. How? By writing that select space multiple, multiple. Now observe, this is already selected, and user can click on it by pressing control and like this, selecting multiple values. Okay, that is what you can see. So about these things, let us now come to the point of a text area where user can enter multiple values. Sorry, where user can enter multiple lines of statement or information. So make it something description, and then type, sorry, not, there's no concept of type. When we want to make it a multi-line code, sorry, multi-line statement that has to be entered by user, you just have to go with the text area, name of the text area. There is no value attribute for here, for this, only the name. Now see that output, right? That is, user can write, and it is scrollable, resizable, scrollable, not scrollable, resizable, can increase or decrease. Then, and we have few more input elements, and we need to change to email address, number, password, URL, and some validating and some more attributes that we'll discuss in the next session. Okay, so clear the things what we have discussed today. Understood?
Yes.
Can you
Right.
send this screenshot of this form to us so that we can work on
We'll
just the
do it.
norm?
Yes, I will do it. Let me tell you, I will forward the contents what, sir, I will forward the things what we are discussing here to the concerned team members. They will forward to you. Okay, na?
Okay.
Coding
And
parts.
also, will we have class on Saturday or Sunday? How is it?
That we have to discuss. Of course, the concerned team members will confirm to you. Okay, na?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Right then. Thank you so much and bye.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
I was unable to join the meeting yesterday, so I can get the recordings, right?
Yes, for sure. You will be getting the recordings, each and everything.
Okay. Thank you.
Right then. Thank you and bye.